Hi there, Kimberly Garner here, and today we're talking about how landscape holds memory. And so I'm going to wait for some people to pop in. And so just while we're waiting, just to get familiar with this idea of landscape. Hi there, thank you so much for joining in. So today we're talking about landscape and memory, and in particular, how landscape holds memory. And what we want to bring our awareness to is first, how certain landscapes hold memories for us, whether it's out in nature, whether it's at someone's home, whether it's at, a city square or the rooms in our own home. And so just recognizing that when we're in a particular environment, there's a connection between how we feel in that space and memories that we have. And we might not be able to recollect specific memories, but our subconscious mind is making the connection between the space we're in and how we felt in one of those early developmental times. And so when you think of landscape, I want you to think of it as like a snapshot that we have a single view of something, and it's like a snapshot in time. And with memory, there's a story associated with the place and the landscape. And we want to be aware of this in our home because sometimes things happen in our home that don't feel good. Things happen in our home that conjure a negative experience. And so we want to be mindful of changing that dynamic. And so and this also goes with certain things in our home. And so when we experience like a certain event in our home that doesn't feel good, whether it's an argument with someone or maybe we were in a space where we got some bad news, that memory is being imprinted in the landscape of our home or the landscape out in nature. Like wherever we experience something that has an emotional charge to it, whether it's joy or sorrow, that space, that landscape where we are is holding that impression. And so it's like going back to a place from our childhood. It's going to conjure certain memories, or it may not conjure memory, it might conjure just the emotion. Like the memory might be held within the subconscious and we can't actually recollect what it was, but we have a sense. And so our home environment does the same thing. And so it's really important that when something occurs within our home that doesn't feel good, that we're aware of it and we can clear that negative experience or uncomfortable experience. And so if you had a fight with your loved one in your bedroom, you want to do something in the space that cleans that memory or that context. So I think, let's see, what else do I want to share about this? So the other thing, there's another component to this, and this is future memories. So if we feel like we're in a stuck cycle, we can use the landscape of our home to conjure future memories. And we do that by placing an intention with an object or an act, a certain routine within our space. And so in this way, we are empowering the landscape of our home with a future memory of our intention, what we intend to call in. And so every single time we see that item, we connect our intention to it and then the vision of our future memory. And this is how one of the ways we tap into the power of our home and our subconscious mind. So if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. And also, if you're interested in learning neurospatial linguistics and this integrative approach to design and well-being, it's fabulous for anyone in the design industry or coaching industry or wellness industry, because here's the thing, our home has been a neglected part of our overall well-being picture. And we want to realize that what's going on in the space of our home is impacting our outcomes with our life coaching efforts. It's impacting what's going on in our relationship. It's impacting what's going on within our mind, our self-perception, our self-confidence, our self-talk. And so just bring your awareness to that. The space of home is holding, this landscape of home is holding a memory. And we can use that combination of landscape and memory to plant a future memory. And so this is how our home becomes really potent and really powerful for supporting our intentions and our desires and our goals, is that every single item in our home, every single item in our home is connected to a thought. And this relationship between landscape holds memory. What we want to do is we want the landscape of our home to hold our future memories. And so if we have a future memory, and if you're not familiar with this concept, future memory is how we plant our intention within our mind, within our imagination. And once we have a picture in our mind of what we want, that's how like quantum physics, that's how our brain, the reticular activating system, starts to organize and draw these things towards us. Okay, so I'm going to say that again just because it's really important. So memory is really powerful, and memory is like imagination in a lot of ways, because how we perceive is malleable and it's subjective. And so memory informs how we associate what's happening in our life right now. We can take a future memory, and so we can take this snapshot, right? This is where the landscape comes in. We can take a snapshot of what we want our life to look like in the future, in the near future, and we plant that image, that landscape within our mind, and then we have a correlating object within our home where we're planting the intention for that snapshot image. Okay, so we're playing around with these words, landscape and memory, and we're using these concepts of our home as a landscape and our memory as being this versatile thing that we get to play with. Like, do we want to have the past memories influencing the direction of our life, or do we want to plant future memories and use those future memories and plant them in our home with an intention and with an object, so that our space begins to hold the vision for the life that we are creating? Okay, so if you're interested in learning more about this, it's called neurospatial linguistics, and it's a field that I've developed that brings together desire and neuroscience and epigenetics and design, but not design like interior design, more like design as a human ecology approach, like how we adapt our space so it better supports those outcomes that we desire. And what we're talking about today is a really big one. It's this concept of landscape holding memory and then using this to our advantage within the landscape of our home. So the landscape of our home holds the future memories and reflects those future memories that we want to create more of in our life. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a second and see if anyone has any questions. By the way, this is what my certification program is all about. So like if you're a life coach, or you want to be a life coach, or you are a holistic designer and you want to help clients, or wellness practitioners, if you want to help your clients empower their space in a way that brings more awareness to the mind and it makes the subconscious more conscious, type school in the comments and I'll send you a link to my certification program. It's really fun, and one of the things I love is all the women who go through my program, like we end up being really close and friends. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about this idea and concept of landscape and memory, and how we can use this concept that landscape holds memory and we can use it within the space of our home so that the items within our home, the decor within our home, they become supercharged with our intentions, with the vision of our future memories, so that our home becomes this, not only a sanctuary, but it becomes this canvas and catalyst for supporting whatever it is we can dream up, like whatever it is we can imagine. And that's why our imagination and our desire are so fundamental to the design process, or the integrative design process, is because that's the nucleus of everything that we do. And so just realize your home holds so much amazing potential for you, and it's just how to tap in to those things that are already existing in your home. And so it's definitely, like, when I use the word design, it's not about looking like your home could be in a magazine. It's how we best adapt your space with what you have now, so it better supports what you want. It better encourages what you want. It accelerates what you want, because all of this is an alignment game. Like, we're taking your desires, and we're taking your mind, and we're taking the environment of your home. So it's your internal environment and your external environment, and we're aligning them with your desire. And that's how we manifest. Like, that's how we raise our level of consciousness. So I think that's it for today, unless anyone has any questions. If you're interested in learning this for yourself, type reset, and I will send you a link to my Power of Home and Mind masterclass and reset course. And if you're interested in teaching this, you can type career in the comments below, or school, either one, and I will send you a link to the certification program, which is called NSL Integrative Design. It's Neurospatial Linguistics, and it's how we tap into the power of our home and our mind and our desire in unison, so that our environment of our mind and our home better support. Okay, that's great. Better support our desires. And so the masterclass is, just type masterclass and you'll get a copy of the masterclass. And then if you have any questions, as always, let me know. I would love to hear from y'all. It's always a delight to have more back and forth communication instead of just this me talking to a screen. So thank you so much for being here. And again, if you're interested in learning more about the school, type school in the comments. If you're interested in the reset program that takes you room by room through your home, so that you can integrate this work into your space, and your life is going to change. Like, you're going to notice your inner world and your outer life, like things will definitely shift. And one thing to recognize is, when our life moves into more alignment with what we want, what isn't working gets louder. And so a lot of times when we do this work, some uncomfortable things happen, because they're no longer resonating with who we are and what we want. And so it's sort of like the better we become at a musical instrument, the more horrible it sounds when we're out of tune. But when we first start playing, we have no idea if our instrument's in tune. Well, this is a process of tuning our environment, which inadvertently starts to influence our internal environment, because our awareness is expanding. And so things that are out of tune in our life with what we want, they get louder, they get more uncomfortable, and we end up having to address them in whatever way. We could talk about this for a long time. So thank you so much. If you have topics or things you'd like me to discuss, send me a DM or stick them in the comments, and I'm more than happy to jump into any topic that interests you. So thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to connecting next time. Have a great day.